A guy just cleans his workbench up just to fill it with other garbage. Welcome back to the shop. Let's look at this Buick. How did you get in here? Oh, it's gross.
I think we're mouse free.
Good. I still got
Either that or he's in the cylinder.
I still call dibs on the other side just in case. Welcome back, guys. Previous video, we got this Buick up on a stand. Really kind of a useless video, that one, and I'm sorry. I mean, gotta do something for you guys. But we tore this guy down last night. It is everywhere in my shop right now. But that's what you get for pulling a motor apart. It's kind of dumb to pull the motor apart in some ways. But to keep this thing indoors in my shop, it's easier to keep the parts on shelves and tucked in corners than it is to me to store this thing as a complete built motor. Because I don't plan on getting to this thing lickety-split. I'll slowly work at it, maybe purchase some bearings and stuff and get the crank polished and slowly start with the bottom end, etc., yada, yada, yada. But that's neither here nor there right now. We pulled it all apart. I have my buddy Jamie come over and help me out. Great guy, Jamie. He was that tall, handsome-looking fellow who is going to be in the time-lapse that I'll show very shortly of us tearing it down. He is married, so sorry, ladies. He's taken. If you're in the southern Manitoba region, need some engine tuning on your LS 4. I think he does Fords now. Who knows? But he's your guy. Wizard with the keyboard. On the laptop, that is. I doubt he knows how to play piano. But if you do, Jamie, let me know. I'd love to hear you. Love to hear you play a tune. But got the block apart. This guy looks pretty. This guy was minty. Like, this thing would have ran. There is still crosshatch in some of the cylinders. Bearings don't look. I mean, they look old and they've been used. But I mean, these things were pretty clean. Like, and if this was all factory, this thing was running just cherry. There was no issues with this. Pistons all look good. Good old rope seals. Those things suck. Now, one thing I didn't know about Buicks is how far that these the skirts came into the block. Actually, there's a little support thing here. I think the 400s Buicks don't have that, is my understanding, because the cylinder wall is thicker. Because I think the cast block is the same block. They do all of their cubic inch by bore. The cranks in these guys, again, if there is big Buick guys out there, let me know if I'm wrong here. This is just my research and what I've kind of known in the past and stuff like that. But they share the same crank through the 400, 430, 455. I'm pretty sure. And all they did to change the cubic inches, they started punching them out. So to some people, they say that the 455 is actually one of the weakest blocks because there's more material ripped out of it. And that might be true, but I'm going to send it anyway. Oh yeah, same thing on this side. You can see here, they got just a cast piece that goes to keep this thing rigid. I don't really know how much strength that even does, but obviously they felt it necessary. What else do I got about this thing? One thing I was disappointed about that I didn't know about Buicks is how small this cam journal is. It is terribly dinky, and it has one of the ugliest camshafts I have ever seen. This is the camshaft right here. Looks all very standard until you get up here. Like, look at that. This is the fuel pump eccentric, and then this is the gear that runs the distributor. It's all off kilter there. The cam gear is centered with everything, but this is just offset, and I don't know. That looks very funky to me. But there's weirder things out there. But this is probably one of the ugliest cams I've ever seen. If there's an uglier one, somebody post that down in the comment section there and let me know what the ugliest camshaft you've ever seen. But the downside is how small these journals are. Like, this factory lift isn't much shorter than these guys. Like, you probably can't get a pretty beefy cam in these things because he just doesn't fit. You can't get it past the cam journals. So, I mean, that kind of sucks. But I probably don't need a big, heavy lift, long duration, wild cam for my plans for this thing. But we'll talk more about that later. Another interesting thing about the Buicks is the front cover. This is the front cover here. I don't want to pick too much up because I'm just full of grease and grossness right now. But the oil pump is attached to this. That's actually the oil pump in there. Right there. That's the oil pump. That's the drive shaft that goes from the distributor. So it would be this way if you're looking at it. That's the right side up. But yeah, everything is kind of in there, which I found very interesting. The only thing that comes off the block is the pickup tube off the side here. Boop. And that comes out right here and into the pump, and the filter hangs off right there too. But yeah, these bores were magnificent. Bearings were magnificent. Even the rod bearings were extremely good for what it was. I mean, they're dirty, but they were. This thing wasn't in pain. Another thing is the lifters. These things were like, I don't know if you guys know what a good lifter is supposed to look like, but those are the lifters that came out of this thing. And I would almost put them right back in. I'm not going to, but it's tempting because they're just so nice. Cam doesn't look too worse for wear. It's it's hard to tell with a cam because you can't just tell by eye, but the wear patterns and stuff, they look pretty even, and nothing was seized, nothing was hard to get out. The lips on the cylinders, getting the pistons out, there was basically none. So, I mean, the thing was an absolute champ. Okay, so I rolled the block over so we could kind of see the top side of it. I mean, it's dirty. I mean, that is what it is. But this lifter valley was a lot cleaner before we were pulling parts off and stuff, but nothing abnormal. All the lifter bores look really good. The cylinders, I mean, they're not perfect, but you can tell that, I probably can't get that on camera, but there are some areas with some crosshatch in here. But it's impressive, very impressive that this thing is in the shape it's in. Of course, it looks like it's been left in a field and mowed around 19 times. But that's what happens when you get motors for free. So, I think next step is to clean it up. I might just roll it outside and pressure wash a bunch of stuff, soak it down. Oh, let's take a look at these cylinder heads. Cylinder heads, the fun stuff. Okay, so I lost some footage. Well, I accidentally hit stop on my phone. Man, the flies are bad in here. Anyway, I hit stop on my camera, so I missed some stuff, and then I ended up playing with my kid outside. So it's a couple days later, looking at these cylinder heads, because I didn't really get to that. But casting number can be found on the inside under the valve cover. These are kind of just your run-in-the-mill cylinder heads. Are really nothing fancy. They aren't anything fancy. They're just your basic cylinder heads. Now, exhaust ports, decent size for a factory head, but big blocks, they need the air. Now the underside, they actually got a pretty beefy valve in these guys. I'm actually kind of impressed. There's not much more you can do. I think, again, no expert, but the stage 1 heads, actually all Buick heads, big block heads, I think they're all very, very similar as far as combustion shots, combustion size, and flow and all that kind of stuff. I think they're all very much the same. Not much difference there. But the valves, they do actually have a little bit of a gap in between. And you can always tell the stage 1 heads, or if somebody's opened these heads, because you can't really get your fingernail in between them. That's how tight those valves get if you put bigger valves in. There is still a little bit of a gap there, so these things haven't been really tampered with. But they got a good size exhaust and a good size intake with a little bit of room to expand. I don't know if we'll go that far. We might just run them as is. But because my plans for this thing probably don't necessarily need a bigger valve, really, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so yeah, nothing fancy. Heavy, really heavy cast iron heads. Here's some tins and intake manifold. Again, nothing fancy. Just a 4-barrel cast iron. Had your factory manifolds on them. This is a shot of the crank. Crank is really clean, nice and shiny. This, like I said, guys, this thing was not in pain. This thing was running pretty good. Man, the flies in here. I need to get a trap or something. But we did find a mouse nest in the exhaust crossover through the intake. So that was kind of fun. We didn't find any dead mice or anything, just a really ugly nest in there. And that's just gross. I don't like that. And of course I broke every bolt imaginable on one of the cylinder heads, getting the exhaust manifolds off, because of course those things are just seized right tight. But yeah, again, nothing fancy. Got her apart. We're going to take a look at all the parts yet here. I'm going to wash the block up. Yeah, get the block washed up nice, get all the the gallery plugs out and all that stuff, scrub it all down. I'm not sure how much machining I'm going to get done on it. I might take a straight edge and check the decks. If the decks look pretty good, I might just sand them and sand it. But the cylinders we will get honed. Probably go to a little bit of a bigger piston. And speaking of pistons, I think I will go to a little bit higher of a compression of piston, because these guys have quite the soup bowl on them. It's a little hard to tell with that, but they're pretty dished. Now, I'm not shooting for no crazy high compression race motor with this one, but I'm kind of shooting at that 9.5, 10-to-1 that's cylinder pressure. That's probably what I'll be shooting for. That's my goal. Yeah, Turbo 400. Got the Turbo 400 with it. That was a nice touch. Now I got a spare. That'll just hit the shed because I don't need it right now. And that's okay. But I gotta get this all cleaned up, guys. And the reason I need to get this cleaned up is because I need to get this whole mess. I'm just gonna move this mess to a different mess location. And then we're gonna move this Bronco out a little bit by a foot or two. Clean up some stuff, make some room so I can walk all the way around the truck. We're gonna move our CNC plasma cutter probably up against this wall eventually. By wall, I mean garage door. Just to get it out of the way. Again, so I can walk all the way around the truck, and so I can continue working on that guy, because I gotta finish that. I really want that done, because I plan on using that for a lot of things for this. Because if you have it, use it. So we're gonna get this thing moved away, move some parts around, make some room. That way we can start working on this Bronco, because that's definitely going to be my winter project. I'm hoping to start it soon, but it's going to be more so a winter project. But I need to get this place cleaned up. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is another stupid, useless little video, but just to see what's coming down the pipe. Figured I'd let you guys in on some stuff. And yeah, if you liked what you see, subscribe. Even if you don't like what you see, subscribe anyway. I would appreciate it. Hit the like button. That does something with YouTube. YouTube likes to see that, so that's good. I like to see that too, because I know I'm in the right direction. And if you do hit the thumbs down, let me know why. Just tell me. It's not going to hurt my feelings, because I probably don't know you, and you probably don't really know me. So that's all right. And if you do know me, and you have a problem with what I'm doing, you probably know where I live, and you can come and find me if you want. We can settle this fisticuffs if we have to. But Anyways, again, thanks a lot, guys. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.